Hello and welcome to Driving with Todd, and I'm Todd. I want to do a comparison. Now, I was big into stiff records. I've made that known on quite a number of my reactions. Well, Nick Lowe was somebody that I didn't know until I heard the song on United States radio, Cruel to Be Kind. And that came out, 1979, I think? And I just loved that song. So I started looking into Nick Lowe and what he had recorded and found out he started out as a solo artist on Stiff Records. In fact, the first Stiff single, 7-inch single, was a Nick Lowe song called So It Goes. The first Stiff EP that was released, and that was in 1977, was a Nick Lowe EP. It had 4 songs on it, typical of a 7-inch EP at the time. And the first track was a song called Born a Woman. And it was a great track. I loved it. I mean, it was probably, in my mind, the best track on that EP. Maybe that's why it was the first song on the EP. Well, the EP was called Bowi. Now, why was it called Bowi? Well, the story goes that David Bowie had released his album Low in 1977 and spelled it Low, leaving off the E, which would have made it Nick Lowe's last name. So, tongue-in-cheek Nick Lowe, the guy is always kind of funny, decided the first EP that he put out was going to be called Bowi, Bowi, and leave the E off so that it sort of matched David Bowie's Low album. I mean, that's what the story goes. And, if you think about it, it's kind of funny. So I love the song Born a Woman. Well, let's go fast forward to the late 90s. So this was I think I probably bought that 7-inch EP in like 1979. It had already been out about 2 years when I bought it. So let's fast forward to like 1999. And I was buying a lot of used vinyl from thrift stores. Well, I was buying a lot of used vinyl, so it didn't matter what the genre was or who the artist was, I was buying it. I wanted to hear everything I could hear off of the vinyl that people had listened to and had donated to the thrift stores. Well, one album I bought was an album by Sandy Posey, and the album was called Born a Woman. And I really didn't put 2 to 2 together until I got the record home, put it on my turntable, and played it. And the song Born a Woman came on, which I believe was the first track on the album. And I went, hey, that's a Nick Lowe song. How can that be a Nick Lowe song when this album came out in 1966 and Nick Lowe didn't record it until 1977? Well, that's when I realized that Sandy Posey was the first person to record this song. In fact, she released it as her second single, and that second single was produced by Chip Moman, who was a huge producer at the time, and he had heard a demo of Sandy doing the song and fell in love with it and said, we got to record this and release it as a single. They released it as a single in 1966, and it reached number 12 on Billboard's HOT 100 singles chart. It was a huge hit for Sandy Posey. It was her first big hit. Like I said, it was her second single, but her first big hit. It sold over 1 million copies of that single here in the United States. Now, what's interesting about this is the song is sort of a feminist song. So the question is, why did Nick Lowe record it? Well, nobody really knows. Nick Lowe probably liked the bass in it, or liked the structure of the song, or just the fact that it was a guy singing kind of a feminist song. Who really knows what Nick Lowe? But it's a great song. And what's the other thing that's kind of weird about it is in 1966, I was listening to a lot of radio. I mean, I had WOKY on from Milwaukee, or WCFL or WLS out of Chicago on constantly. Yet I didn't remember that song when I heard Nick Lowe sing it on his EP Bowi. And when I listened to the album by Sandy Posey, Born a Woman, with that track on it, I didn't remember the song at all. So either I just wasn't into that type of music, or they didn't play it a lot in our regional area here. That I don't know, but I don't remember the song. And like I said, I listened to the radio a lot in 1966, and that was AM radio, of course. So this is Sandy Posey's version of Born a Woman. Let's listen to it and talk a little bit about it. Here we go.
No difference if you're rich or poor, or if you're smart or dumb. A woman's place in this whole world is under some man's thumb. And if you're born a woman, you're born to be hurt. You're born to be stepped on, lied to, and treated like dirt. Oh, if you're born a woman, you're born to be hurt.
So this song has a very heavy bottom end, and this is, I believe, a stereo version that was overlaid on this video, but this video is probably lip synced anyway. So as long as it matches up, that's all that matters. But it has a very heavy bottom end, very heavy bass on this thing. Then you've got a very distinct piano. That piano is right up front. But then the rest of the instrumentation is kind of blended into the song. There's some strings in there. There's a little bit of guitar. But it's real blended, and you got to listen real hard to hear those other instruments. Now, Sandy too, I liked her. I like her voice on this song. In fact, I've got several of her albums, and she's kind of a crossover artist from country and pop music. So kind of started out doing a lot of pop music, such as this song here, and then transitioned into more of the country sound. But I really like her voice. Is very typical of the mid-60s, how they added the echo to a female's voice to give it a lot more depth and a lot more sound on the song. Also, if you've been listening to the lyrics of the song, it was the start of the feminist movement. I mean, she's saying, women don't have the same place that men do. They're looked down upon. They're almost like second-class citizens. And we know that's not true. I mean, that's just not true, but that's the way people or women thought of themselves in the early to mid 60s, until that feminist movement started to say, we want equality. So this song fits right into that time period. So let's continue, see how it goes.
You're born to be hurt. A woman's lot is to give and give, and go on giving. Woman's got to love and lose, and go on living. Well, I was born a woman. I didn't have no say. And when my man finally comes home, he makes me glad it happened that way. Because to be his woman, no price is too great to pay. Yes, I was born a woman. I'm glad it happened that way. Oh, I was born a woman, and I'm glad it happened that way. Oh, I was born a woman. I'm glad it happened that way. Oh, I was born a woman, and I'm glad it happened that way.
Oh, great video too. I've not seen this video before, but I saw that. I think it's from Where the Action Is, where this video is from, the TV show Where the Action Is, which was a show in the United States that had rock and roll music in it. So I thought, yeah, I got to do this. Plus, it's black and white. Nothing's better than videos of rock people doing their songs, rock artists doing their songs in black and white. I mean, I think that's just very cool in itself. But the video is awesome. Really liked it. I like how she's strolling down that sidewalk or bridge or whatever it is, and then she's surrounded by all the young people, and they're all kind of clapping and grooving to the song. And it's kind of funny at the end of the song, kind of change up the lyrics, and she's really proud to be a woman, and even if that means that she's at home doing her things at home, and then her man comes home and is totally appreciated by her man. It's kind of a time stamped song, like I said, from the mid '60s that a lot of females were starting to sing about women not having equal rights to men. So it's kind of a cool song, very very dated, but very good as well. I mean, the first time I heard it on the album when I bought Born a Woman, the Sandy Posey album that I got from the thrift store, and I put it on, it's like, wow, that's powerful. I really like this song. It's powerful. The lyrics are powerful. Her voice has that country twang in it, but still, it's a pop song. So you got this country twang in a pop song. It's like, wow, this is also kind of a new approach to pop music, to have that country twang in there. And then, like I said, heavy bottom end on this thing. Heavy bass, heavy drum on the bottom of this thing, and that piano almost on top of all of the music. Just really cool version of the song. I love it. I thought, I got to do this sometime, and here's the perfect opportunity. Now we're going to move to the Nick Lowe version. As I said, this was on Nick Lowe's first EP that he released on Stiff Records. It was also Stiff Records' first EP. The record number was called Last One, and he named the EP Bowi because Bowi put out an album called Lowe. So here we go with Nick Lowe doing Born a Woman. Now that's the album that the song also appears on. Born a Woman also appears on the album called Jesus is Cool, which was not on Stiff Records. He and Elvis Costello left Stiff Records, I think it was probably in 1978, late 1978, and went to Radar Records, which was formed, I believe, by one of the people who initially formed Stiff Records. And this is the first album that Nick Lowe had on Radar Records. It was called Jesus is Cool in the UK and in Europe. In the United States, it was called Pure Pop for Now People. They changed the name. I'm guessing they didn't want to upset anybody with the name Jesus is Cool. So here we go with Nick Lowe doing Born a Woman.
It makes no difference if you're rich or poor, or even if you're smart or dumb. A woman's place in this whole world is under some man's thumb. It must be heavy and it must be hard, trying to make a little dent in life. A breed and feed and buy your feet, while those hungry that's alright. 'Cause if you're born a woman, you're born to be hurt. You were born to be lied to, stepped on, cheated on, and treated like dirt. If you're born a woman, you're born to be hurt.
Okay, wow, a lot faster. Nick really sped this song up. I mean, it's almost twice as fast in the rhythm section as Sandy Posey's. The other thing he added was a lot of guitar. I don't think there's any piano. I'm trying to listen for any piano. I don't think there's any piano. There's no strings. He's got no strings in here. It's just rock and roll. I mean, he's got that heavy bass, heavy drum, and a real apparent guitar in this version of the song. The other thing too is he changes up the lyrics a little bit because he can't say, it's me, because he's not a woman. So he's saying you. He's saying it's your, you can't do this or you can't do that. So he's kind of pushing off the the who's actually being affected by this song. It's not him, but it's someone else. So he changed up the lyric as well. Although the rest of the lyrics do fall in line with the Sandy Posey version, and his voice, Sandy's voice, was way up front. I mean, she was up front. You could hear every word she said. She was on top of the music. Nick Lowe's is in the background. Very typical of Nick Lowe production, where he's just got a lot of loud sound, and then the voice is kind of secondary to the music. So this is really cool. I'm like I said, I'm a big Nick Lowe fan. So here we go. Let's continue with the song.
You born to be hurt. A woman's place is to give and then to give some more. And it's so hard to understand what she's giving for. Wake up day to the dead of night as someone's beck and call. A woman's place in this old world ain't no place at all. 'Cause if you born a woman, you born to be hurt.
Okay. Again, he's singing it like in the third person, where it's the woman is the one that gets hurt. The woman doesn't have a place in this world. So he's not saying me like Sandy Posey was. He's doing it like in third person. Also, this is the cover of the Nick Lowe EP, which is the first Stiff Records EP called Last One. And then, like I said, he named it Bowi, removed the E from David Bowie's name to make it fall in line with David Bowie's Lowe album. Just really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. Also, listen to that bass guitar in there. I mean, Nick Lowe plays bass guitar. It's very apparent in this song that he plays bass guitar because it's right up front and it sounds awesome. So let's keep on going.
You born to be hurt. Yes, you were born a woman. You born to be hurt. You born to be lied to. Steps on you like dirt. If you're born a woman, you're born to be hurt. 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 Born to be hurt.
Cool version of that song. I just loved it. I mean, when I heard Born a Woman by Nick Lowe, like I said, it was probably about 1979. It was like, that is awesome. That's a great song. And this was a typical Nick Lowe production. I mean, he produced his singles. He produced the first, 5 or 6 Elvis Costello and the Attraction albums. And they're very hollow sounding. He doesn't put a lot of production actually into the song. It's almost like every take's a live take, which, isn't true, but that's the way it sounds because he's got kind of that hollow sound to his production. And you can always tell a Nick Lowe produced song because it doesn't have a lot of fill in it. It's just, here's the 4 instruments we're using, here's the vocals, let's put it down and get it done. I really love it. While the version by Sandy Posey was produced by Chip Moman, who was a huge producer in the United States in the 60s and the 70s. I mean, he produced a lot of different artists. I mean, Elvis Presley was somebody that he produced. I believe he produced some of the Monkees tracks. I mean, he was just out there doing a lot of production. So he put a lot of layers of music, and that you can tell on the Sandy Posey, where like I said, you got that heavy bottom end with the drums and the bass, you got that piano that's like up on top, and then you've got other instruments that fill in, and he had a string arrangement on top of it as well. So a very much layered instrument version of the song versus Nick Lowe's, which is bass, drum, and guitar, and his voice. So this was fun. I've been wanting to do this, compare Born a Woman for quite a while, and I thought today's going to be the day. We're going to do it. We're going to compare Sandy Posey's version, the original version of the song, to a Nick Lowe version that he released in 1977. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did enjoy it, hit that like button. That'd be very, very cool. If any comments about Sandy Posey and or Nick Lowe's version of Born a Woman, hey, put in the comments below. That'd be really awesome. Hey, I'm going to take both of these videos and put the link of those videos in my notes below. So if you want to go back and listen to them again or watch the videos again, just pick on either of the links. It will open up the video and you can sit back and watch. That'd be really cool. I'm also going to put the link to the channels that uploaded both of these videos, so you can check out their channels to see if they have any other neat videos you might want to watch. And talking about that, have you subscribed to Driving with Todd? If you have not, you got to, because we're having a lot of fun on Driving with Todd. We're doing a lot of different genres, like we just did 2 here. And we did power pop with Nick Lowe and kind of country pop with Sandy Posey. So we're doing a lot of different genres, playing a lot of cool music. Just go below this video and hit that subscribe button. It's fast, free, and easy. And then go over here, ring that bell, and you'll get updates to my latest videos. So this is awesome. I loved it. Both versions are very cool, but very, very different. And I could sit back and listen to these 2 songs over and over and over again. So it put a huge smile on my face. I'm hoping it put a huge smile on your face. And peace out, baby.